The year was 1982, and when it came to personal computers, IBM was the only game in town, until a small Houston startup founded by three friends came along and proceeded to beat Big Blue at its own game. The company was Compaq Computers. This David and Goliath story is chronicled in a new documentary, Silicon Cowboys.
It wowed audiences at this year's South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin and opened nationwide yesterday. From the film, here's the moment they came up with the design of their groundbreaking portable computer.
We walked in, looked around, picked a booth that was kind of by itself. You know, unfortunately, we hadn't thought to bring anything with us, so we turned over the placemat. We borrowed a pencil from the waitress and proceeded to describe to Ted Papajohn how we wanted it to look.
What he drew was something that was very professional looking. We knew where the monitor would go, what the size was, how the keyboard would go in.
As I saw that sketch coming together on the paper, there was an excitement. We're going to make this work. I didn't know how yet, but it was headed that way.
Rod Canion was Compaq's co-founder and CEO, and Jason Cohen directed the film. Welcome to you both. Good morning.
Thank you for having us.
Jason, let me start with you. What about Compaq's story made you want to put this on film?
You know, the story itself was just, it's this great David versus Goliath narrative, and I think it's a story people don't really know about. We hear a lot about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, and I think people know those stories in the tech sector, but Compaq's story was really remarkable, how this little startup out of Houston came in and made their mark in the industry when it was just burgeoning.
Well, Rod, little startup out of Houston. Is it true that you guys were thinking Mexican restaurant or potentially take on IBM when you guys came up with this idea?
You know, we actually did discuss the Mexican restaurant, but it didn't last very long because we wanted to get into the personal computer field somehow, some way. We actually didn't think it would be a PC. We thought it would be some peripheral or something related because it just seemed like too big a thing for three guys out of Houston to start.
But your idea was just make it portable, make it so you can take it to work.
Well, the idea came to my head one day, actually, after we had been studying, trying to figure out what we were going to do. And the idea for a portable computer that could actually run all the software that was already out there, specifically the software that had been written for the IBM PC.
Right.
Oh, that's when the chill went down my spine. Literally, it was like, if we could do this,
yeah,
that would sell great.
Yeah. Jason, you talked about the David versus Goliath aspect of this. Just how big was IBM at that point, and what happened to companies that tried to take them on?
IBM was the computer industry. They were, the mainframe computers. They had all the government contracts, in the 60s and 70s, and then they put out the IBM PC in 1981 and then took over that market for a short time there. And they would flex their muscle, and any company that would sort of try to go in and compete with them, they would essentially go in with their lawyers and put them out of business. And most of them were, unfortunately, they were copying IBM's code. Yeah. And Compaq was smart enough to do it the right way. And they reverse engineered that IBM without copying the code exactly, and did it without putting themselves in a situation where IBM could come in and crush them.
Well, in that vein, I mean, IBM eventually came out and did their own portable PC. Yeah. What happened to that? And did you feel like at the time, I mean, did you guys have any sense at the time of being the first, the revolution, the guys that would set the stage for Facebook?
Not at that point. And that was one of the scariest times of my life because everybody in the industry, press, stock analysts, because we had just gone public, they all said Compaq's done. IBM's coming out with a portable. And just as they had done with Apple and the others in the PC world, they just passed them by. But it didn't work out that way. There were several reasons, but in the end, we ended up pushing their portable out of the market, not the other way around.
In your first year, you took in over $100 million in sales. At its peak, $3 billion?
Yeah, but the year before I left, it was $3.6 billion.
Did you think, I mean, at any point in the beginning, did you think we're nuts to be doing this?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how about quitting your jobs without a job?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You left Texas Instruments.
We left TI. We had saved up money. Actually, we had borrowed money to be able to last 6 months so that we could give ourselves a little runway to go out and find an idea and then get venture capital funding. We knew we had to get funding.
What eventually happened, Jason? Because Hewlett-Packard acquired Compaq in 2002 for $25 billion. What happened to that name, the Compaq name that we'd all heard of?
Well, eventually HP, they did merge, and that's well documented about that merger, and people have different opinions about it. But they eventually phased out the Compaq name, I think, in 2013. So it stuck around for a while, and that was long after Rod had left, obviously. But it stuck around for a little while. But, you know, when we started making this film, we told people we're making a film about Compaq. You know, so many people said, oh, I remember Compaq. My first computer was a Compaq. And they remember that 28-pound luggable that looked like a sewing machine with a handle that they used to you know, schlep around in airports. So we knew that people would connect to this story.
Rod, I'm just curious, if you were in that, you know, coffee shop again today, mapping something out, what would you be trying to create now?
You know, I can't tell you what exactly it would be, but I know it would be in the area of mobile computing, something you can carry around. It would use the internet, and it would probably have a lot to do with social media. Yeah. You know, that's where the three magic ingredients are now.
All right. Rod Canion, Jason Cohen, thanks to you both very much. Silicon Cowboys is in theaters and available on video on demand now.